My beloved, hear me now with every part of your being, because this is not random sound crossing your screen, and this is not another message to casually consume and forget. This is a living summons reaching you at the exact second your spirit needed it. A voice breaking through time, distraction, exhaustion, and doubt to find you precisely where you are, because you are standing at the threshold of the greatest turning point you have ever encountered. And if you drift away, if you minimize this, if you tell yourself you will come back later, you will pass directly by what heaven has positioned for you, and it will not chase you down, because this moment requires recognition, response, and courage. And I know the weight you have been carrying. I know how daily pressure has pulled your attention in 1,000 directions until you barely recognize your own breath anymore. I know how responsibilities stacked on responsibilities, expectations on expectations, until listening became harder than surviving. And still I am speaking now, asking you to stop long enough to see that this favor is not general. It is not common. It is not meant for everyone scrolling by. It is reserved for those who sense the quiet pull and choose to answer it. Because what I prepare in silence is access through awareness. And if you look away now, you will not only miss a gift, you will miss alignment, because the deepest blessings are never loud. They arrive through trust, readiness, and decisive obedience. And when my instruction comes, hesitation fractures the flow, because delay dulls perception and distraction closes doors. And I need you to understand this clearly. Ignoring my guidance does not leave you neutral. It hardens your inner world, clouds your direction, and separates you from the peace, clarity, and abundance already assigned to your path. And I see the questions stirring inside you right now. The quiet doubts asking whether this is real, whether you deserve this, whether my promises truly apply to you. And hear me when I say this. Belief is not passive agreement. Belief is movement. Belief is response. Belief is choosing to trust even when your emotions argue otherwise. And I am not here to accuse you. I am here to draw you into a life saturated with calm, strength, purpose, and meaning. But understand this as well. When you choose not to listen, your journey stalls, confusion grows, fear multiplies, and dissatisfaction begins to feel normal. And yet I have offered you peace that silences the chaos, power that lifts you over obstacles, joy that shines even in shadowed seasons. But these are not forced upon you, they are received. And I am asking you now, not later, not someday, not when life feels easier, but now to open yourself fully, because this window is real and it is active, and forces exist that want your attention scattered and your awareness dulled. But my voice carries authority, and if you anchor yourself to it and act without hesitation, you step into liberation. And I need you to release what has been blinding you. Fear, pride, doubt, urgency, the need to control outcomes. Loosen your grip and approach with humility and readiness. Because from that posture flow restoration, provision, and clarity. And remember who I am to you, your source, your sustainer, your deliverer, the one who has always been closer than you realized, longing to pour out more than your imagination can contain. But partnership is required. Hearing without action leaves the work incomplete. And when I prompt you to forgive, to move, to speak, to rest, to trust, to reconnect, you must respond. Because this is how the unseen becomes tangible. And know this, no situation in your life is beyond my authority. I can reconfigure circumstances, restore what you thought was permanently lost, breathe life into stalled dreams, and expand your efforts beyond natural limits. And understand that blessings are not always visible at first. They often arrive as inner steadiness, physical renewal, healed relationships, and quiet joy. And my desire is to fill you completely with these. So today, choose awareness, choose response, refuse distraction and discouragement, because I am ready to favor you without measure. And if you harden yourself, you forfeit more than opportunities. You forfeit intimacy, peace, and protection. So choose vitality, choose reliance, choose alignment, because I have never left you and I never will. And do not dismiss this moment, because the greatest well-being you will ever experience hinges on a single decision to open yourself fully and say yes. And as you do, Understand that something has already shifted, a deep transformation has begun, and what unfolds from here marks the true beginning. Because even while confusion tried to cloud your understanding, I addressed it on your behalf. Every detail of your journey has been seen, weighed, and resolved, and the outcome prepared will astonish you. Because a decisive change has already taken place, and you must grasp this now. Its activation is immediate, and although resistance tried to interfere with your clarity, I have already overridden it because this is personal, deliberate, and meant only for you. And I know you have asked in quiet moments when things would finally change. And hear me clearly, the waiting period has ended. The matter has been settled, and what follows is favor beyond what you anticipated. But you must stay present, because drifting now could cause you to miss the exact way this unfolds. And there is a reason your spirit feels different. There is a reason something inside you recognizes the weight of these words, because this connection is intentional, and among billions, this message found you, because I guided you here. And a season of restoration, clarity, and freedom is approaching, and it will change how you interpret everything behind you. Because even if you feel tired, uncertain, or overlooked, you are standing in a critical moment. And opposition has tried to redirect you because you endured trials others never saw. And while they noticed the struggle, I saw the strength. And that is why I'm acting now, because this is not insight alone. It is a declaration your season of endurance has concluded. And to receive what is next, your awareness must stay sharp, because the instant you accept this truth fully, I move on your behalf. Because the trial ended when you sensed deep inside that it could not last forever. And that ending did not close your story. It opened a new chapter of unfolding. And when I end something, it is final. Every false word spoken over you, every obstacle placed to slow you, every attempt to diminish your worth has reached its limit. And the resistance tried to convince you my silence was absence, that closed doors were rejection, that being unseen was punishment. But today I correct that lie, because I was preparing you, not pushing you away, shaping you, not harming you, and releasing you into more than you asked for. And I saw every hidden tear, every lonely breakdown, every moment you held yourself together while falling apart inside, and my attention never left you. I carried you when your strength was failing, guarded your resolve so it would not fracture under pressure, watched over you while the world slept. And you had every reason to quit, every justification to stop, but you continued. Even when doubt whispered that I was distant, you still reached for me quietly. And those private battles became sacred, because you did not need to shout for me to hear you. Your quiet perseverance spoke louder than noise. And while others trusted what they could see, you trusted what you could not. And that kind of faith is rare, reserved for those chosen to carry what comes next. And you were never alone in the dark, because even when you could not perceive it, help surrounded you. And each time you whispered my name through tears, the atmosphere shifted, resistance retreated. Not because of your visible strength, but because of your surrender. And now those places of sorrow will become places of awe. Not because I pity you, but because you are ready, because I measure progress by the purity of your spirit, not by outward appearance. And you stayed when there was no clear path. You continued when others left. And now what was endured in private will be revealed as purpose. And right now I am restoring what you thought was beyond repair, beginning exactly where you questioned whether I remembered you. And hear this clearly. I never forgot you, not for a second. And even when hope felt pointless, I saw the war inside you, the clash between fear and trust, logic and surrender, self-protection and faith. And you chose me, not because fear was absent, but because trust was greater. And this is what separates those who draw near from those who drift. And the moment you choose to trust me more than your emotions, the testing phase ends, and what is ahead draws closer than ever, because resistance fears your future, not your past. And every delay, every ache, every closed door was designed to distract you from recognizing who you are becoming. But doubt no longer holds authority, because clarity has arrived, and nothing can block what I have determined. And now your role is to remain steady, to reject every thought that contradicts what I have declared. And when you say from your core that you trust me beyond your feelings, power begins to move. Because this is not imagination. This is transition from confusion to understanding, from fear to alignment, from strain to rest, and everything that was twisted is being corrected. And every outcome has already been set in your favor. And even when circumstances appear unmoving, I am active. And when others step away, I step closer, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. So do not doubt what I spoke in moments of calm when pressure rises, because the path ahead is already cleared and your identity is being restored, not as one who barely survives, but as one who receives fully, and this peace will not fade. It marks the beginning of a lasting reality. And this moment was prepared for you personally, and your waiting has not been wasted. It has been positioning, and now the way forward is opening. And I ask you not to retreat, because many turn back just before revelation manifests. But the doorway is entered through trust, openness, and acceptance. And these words are alive, meant to be carried forward. And as you align with them, guidance will continue, and support will not withdraw. And if you dismiss this, you may miss what is ready now. But if you receive it, you will experience more than you imagined, because my love for you is immeasurable, and this favor belongs to you. And all I ask is your attention, your stillness, your willingness to remain present. Because this moment is different, you feel it, your spirit recognizes it. And I came now because life has been loud, exhausting, draining, and you have been running on empty, surviving instead of living, hiding pain behind strength, carrying burdens never meant for you alone. And I saw the weariness in your eyes, the heaviness in your steps, the emotions you concealed even from yourself. And that is why I'm here, because your whispered prayers reached me. Your unspoken hopes were heard, and an answer is emerging. And to receive it, you must stay aware, because rushing past this could cause you to miss what you begged for. So breathe, be still, let the noise settle, because this is the turning point arranged for you. And I am speaking to the places you guarded most, the pain you minimized, the wounds you hid, the exhaustion you ignored, the loneliness you carried even among others. And I saw it all, every disappointment, every broken expectation, every time you stopped trusting because it hurt too much. And I held your hopes with care, and I never dismissed your dreams, and your solitude never went unseen. And even now, you are held, protected, understood, and this understanding is meant to flow outward, to reach others through you, because your trust becomes a pathway for someone else's awakening. And now I wait for your response, your decision, your step. Because this is not just a message, it is an invitation. And the moment you accept it, everything begins to move. Everything begins to move. And as that movement stirs beneath the surface, I need you to understand what is happening inside you right now. Because this is not simply an emotional response. This is recognition. This is remembrance. This is your spirit waking up to something it always knew but learned to bury beneath responsibility, disappointment, and survival. And I am staying with you in this moment, because what comes next requires continuity, requires you to remain present, requires you to let the unfolding continue without interruption. Because once the door opens, it does not pause to convince you again. It reveals, and revelation carries momentum. And that momentum is already pulling you forward, even if your mind is still trying to catch up. Because while you are listening, while your attention remains here, something deep inside you is recalibrating. Layers are shifting, old agreements are dissolving, and long-held tension is finally being acknowledged. And I want you to feel this without fear, because this is not loss, this is release. And release always precedes expansion. And I know expansion can feel unfamiliar when you have lived compressed for so long, when you have learned to shrink your expectations to avoid disappointment, when you have trained yourself to accept less so the ache would be manageable. But I am telling you now, you no longer need to brace yourself, because what approaches you is not fragile, it is stable, it is anchored, it is prepared, and it is strong enough to hold the weight of your hope without breaking. And that matters, because you stopped hoping fully, not because you lacked faith, but because you were tired of watching hope collapse under the weight of reality. And I never judged you for that. I understood it. I stood with you through it, and I preserved the part of you that could hope again even when you believed it was gone. And now that part is stirring, cautiously at first, almost suspicious of the warmth it feels, wondering if it is safe to rise. And I am telling you, it is safe now, because this is not a fleeting moment. This is alignment returning, and alignment brings coherence to what has felt scattered for years. And as the coherence forms, you may feel emotions surface unexpectedly. Waves of sadness, relief, gratitude, or even grief for what you endured. And all of that is welcome here. None of it disqualifies you. None of it delays what is coming. Because feeling is not weakness. Feeling is honesty. And honesty is the gateway to restoration. And you have been honest in ways few ever are, even when no one was watching. Even when there was no reward, you told yourself the truth in the dark, and that integrity shaped you more than you realized because it refined your discernment. It sharpened your awareness. It taught you the difference between noise and truth, and that is why you recognized this moment when it arrived, even if you could not immediately explain why. And now that recognition is deepening into certainty, and certainty steadies you. It grounds you. It allows you to remain present instead of scanning for danger. And that shift alone changes everything, because when you stop scanning for loss, you finally have space to receive. And you have lived so long in anticipation of something going wrong that calm itself felt suspicious, unfamiliar, almost undeserved. But I am teaching you now that peace is not something you earn by suffering enough. It is something you align with by trusting deeply. And you are learning how to trust again, not blindly, not naively, but wisely, with discernment and strength. And that kind of trust does not collapse under pressure. It expands through it. And that is what you are stepping into now. Expansion through alignment. And as this expansion unfolds, you may notice old narratives trying to resurface, old voices reminding you of past failures, past delays, past pain, whispering that this is too good to last, that you should not get your hopes up, that you have felt this before and been disappointed. But listen to me carefully. Those voices are echoes, not warnings. They belong to seasons that no longer have authority over you, and you do not need to fight them. You only need to recognize them for what they are and let them pass without engagement, because engagement gives them energy, and you no longer need to feed what cannot follow you forward. And forward is where you are going now, steadily, deliberately, without rushing, without forcing. Because what is unfolding does not require striving, it requires presence. And presence is what you are practicing right now by staying here, by listening, by allowing this to move through you fully. And I want you to notice something important. Notice how different this feels from the urgency you are used to. Notice how this does not demand frantic action or immediate proof. Notice how it invites steadiness instead of panic. That is because what is arriving is not fragile. It does not need to be chased. It meets you where you are when you are aligned. And alignment is what you are choosing now, breath by breath, moment by moment. And as alignment deepens, clarity follows, and clarity reveals the next step. Not 10 steps ahead, not the entire map, but the next true step. And that is all you have ever needed, even though you told yourself you needed certainty about everything before you could move. The truth is, you only ever needed enough light for the step in front of you, and that light is here now, illuminating what was once obscured by fear and fatigue. And as you see more clearly, you may begin to realize that some of what you thought was lost was simply waiting for you to be ready to hold it. And readiness is not perfection. Readiness is openness, and you are open now in a way you have not been in a long time, because you are no longer bracing for impact. You are allowing support, and that shift alone changes the texture of your life. Because support multiplies strength, it does not replace it. And you have been strong for so long on your own that you forgot what it feels like to be carried even briefly.